Recording progress.
Hello, everyone out there, Texas Desert Rose, Tammy Lynn here, and yeah, finally doing a podcast recording. What? On this Saturday, the last day of May. Can you believe that? Half the year is gone. Um, and I have a special guest with me, but before I introduce her, let me tell you that I'm acquiring a couple of people to do interviews with on the topic of scapegoat, golden child in the narcissistic family dynamic. Had quite a few people say, "Hey, I'll tell my story," very courageously, and I love that because I think it's one that even though we talk about narcissism, if you think about it, there's not a lot on scapegoating and golden child. And I think it's really important because not all is that it seems. So look forward to doing those. Keep your eye out for those postings coming. So, but for now, let me tell you about my guest. Wonderful person, good soul, uh, great mother, and she'll tell you more about her and her story. And what we're here to talk about today is we're going to flush out the idea of knowledge acquisition. And don't worry if that doesn't make sense. We're going to flush that out. And hopefully, by the time we're done with this, you will have a better understanding. Would love to hear your feedback, any questions, comments, your thoughts on the topic. Keep in mind that while I am a licensed therapist, these views are of mine and views of my guest only. Totally cool to disagree. Love to hear your thoughts on it, agree, your experiences with it, what have you. Okay? So here we go. Hello, Miss Emily. Welcome to Texas
Hello.
Desert Rose.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm very excited to be here and to talk about the acquisition of knowledge with you.
Okay, so in general, before we get into your story, tell me your thoughts. When you think of the acquisition of knowledge, what are your thoughts on that?
I am thinking about um, looking outside of the box. I am thinking about um, wanting to learn, having a willingness to learn, and to maybe see the other side of things. Um,
What?
Opening your mind, opening your heart, and having a willingness to teach as well, and just be a part of our society on a um, in a positive manner, adding
So
something.
I would guess from that that you have had some experiences that made you aware of this is something that's near and dear to your heart.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. So, with my own education experience in terms of going to school and just wanting to learn more in general, that was not something that came naturally to me. I
Okay.
needed to want to learn, not just to look at information and take it in, but to feel like I can understand it, like I can comprehend what's happening.
So you're saying that I want to make sure I understand. You're saying that learning for learning's sake was isn't
Sure,
there. You need
that's
to be
right.
inspired.
Exactly. And there is and you need to have an aspiration as well to you need to aspire to knowledge. Sorry, I'm having a hard time uh,
So like
forming my
setting goals.
sentences. Yes, yeah. An aspiration to set goals and to um, grow. Aspiration to grow and to improve your community and the world.
Okay, so your aspiration is, it sounds like my words. So correct me if that's not what you intend, but greater good.
Yeah, sure. I think everyone should have some aspirations that are for the greater good,
Okay.
helping our communities, helping our children, helping our elderly, anything, anything you do in this life, you should have the intention of wanting to make things better than how you found them.
Something for after, something
Sure,
that continues after you no longer do on
absolutely,
this earth plane.
absolutely.
Are you
And
open to,
in situational as well, with wanting to grow, not just leaving something better than you found it, like, leaving the world better than you found it, but leave your job better than you found it, leave your home better than you found it.
mhm,
Have the mindset that you can and should want to improve things and and build build on yourself.
okay. So let's get a little bit more in the dirt, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Okay.
Um, just to make it more tangible. And of course, it's up to you what you share, but how has this applied so far in your life?
Sure.
That's a big, broad question, but
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I guess I can start with where a lot of people start with their education journey is graduating high school.
mm,
The big question after graduation is, what are you going to do with your life? The
and
biggest
everybody
question.
asks.
Yeah, and everyone asks, and everyone has different expectations on what they would like to hear in response. Um,
And that's the post-adolescent idealism and Piaget.
yeah.
And I can't remember if it's Piaget, but it's definitely post-adolescent idealism where I can conquer the world. I can
Mhm.
change the world. We need that belief during that time, but that on top of how am I going to do it? It's pretty
Yeah,
stressful.
sure. So for me, I wanted to go to college out of high school, but just the logistics did not feel right. I
Oh,
was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't want to commit to something that I didn't feel 100% committed to. I didn't want to go to a college for a degree that I might not like. When I graduated high school, I wanted to go into marketing and
mhm.
advertisement. Um, but I have since learned that industries like that don't serve me, or more, I don't serve them. I need to do something that helps physically. I need to really help on a base level people. But, anyways,
Didn't fit for you.
right, exactly. So I knew I didn't want to commit to something. And at the time, I now know it was the best decision for me to not go to college right out of high school.
How so?
The best. Well, at the time, it felt like I was making all the right decision or all the wrong decisions. Sorry, all the wrong decisions, and there was
Thank
no
goodness.
second chances. It is such a hard time for somebody at that age who does not have. They could even have all the support in the world, but there's no stability in your wants. At that age, what you want and what you're focused on, your priorities change every day. And
Absolutely.
to apply one small want or one small desire that you had as a child, like, oh, I want to be a nurse when I grow up, I want to be a teacher, I'm going to school to be a teacher now.
When your
um
brain is still forming, and for
yeah,
males, the formal thought process usually hasn't even kicked in yet.
sure, exactly. I don't know, the um
Yet getting pressure to come up with what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Sure. Yeah. So that pressure is on. And in that moment, when you are the social aspects of that, you're watching your friends go to college, you're watching your friends and your siblings, even, you're doing stuff that maybe your parents didn't do.
Hmm.
Um, it's your own path. It was my own path. And so, anyways, I decided to take a leap year, which was more of a laziness year. and it
Or
was
fly your freak
my
flag gear. That's what I called
yes,
it as a
there
college
the
advisor.
freak flag was flown, that is true.
I love
But
it.
but there was no intention. There was no I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have any which I I didn't need it. Nobody does at that time.
No,
I found it and here I am today. But
I love that. So you don't have to tell your age unless you're open to it,
oh
but
sure, yep.
how many years past that are you now? Like what stage of the game?
Yeah, well, I'm 26 now. I'll be
Okay.
27 in October.
Okay.
Um, so it doesn't seem that long from far away, but I've lived
No
so
true
many
words.
different lives in between then and
Oh,
now. It's been less than a decade within the same decade.
it's
And
a very powerful decade though.
oh, very much so. Not
Very.
to mention all of the outside influences affecting my life,
Right.
such as being a military child. There was so much instability growing up, and to then be so-called free and finally have my wings can flap, but they're not strong enough. I was not prepared mentally for reality. And
Sure.
I think, unfortunately, so many people aren't, and maybe the majority of people aren't. And
Even
that
active duty who
trickles
are
down.
full-blown
Oh,
adults.
sure. Oh, sure. Yeah. And that trickles down into society and into our homes and the question of the nuclear family and
Sure.
you know what does our society look like when nobody in their 20s has any direction and nobody knows how to farm and nobody knows these common things that
Grounding
are, I
things.
mean, yes, they're grounding, they're good for your soul, they're healing, and they're good for your community. And they are good on a spiritual and a physical level, just learning skills.
So from high school to now, can we dive into a little bit of those weeds?
Yeah, definitely.
Of
So,
what made this topic near and dear to your heart as far as your own story?
right. When I decided finally to go to college, I decided that I needed to do part time at a community college as low effort, as minimal as possible, just to get some movement.
Okay. Get it
Still
started.
not knowing, yeah, still not knowing what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed something. And because I couldn't fully dedicate myself to it, I still had to work. I still am a teenager and emotions, oh, craziness. Um, there was not, I did not have the mental capacity to move on. So I ended up dropping out. I applied for community college maybe 4 times and dropped out every time just over the years.
Sure.
Um, there, I applied for FAFSA, which would have been great if I didn't drop out. That dropped my credit score to 200.
So let me
I
do a little bit of an editor's note here,
sure.
and then I will get you, allow you to continue.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I was a community college and a university advisor.
Oh, cool.
And first, what Emily is referring to with the FAFSA is that's the federal application for financial student aid. That's as it says, federal. And so, whenever you apply for that, if you qualify, you are allotted, you know, grant money, maybe some loan money, whatever. But you have to go to a certain number of hours and pass. And if you don't, then you end up having to repay that money. Um, the other part of that is that in my experience, because I'm hoping to get some people who are interested in college listening to this, is that you probably, at least at the community college level, easily 70, 80, even 90% are above the average age. And so it's
Oh
non-traditional
yeah.
age, people going
Yep.
to college because it's their turn, their kids are out of
Yep.
the house, or they never got a chance and they're going back, such as yourself. They're not the average 18 at
Yep.
all. So
Exactly. Yeah.
thank you for
Sure.
letting me throw that in
Definitely.
there.
Absolutely. And with that as well, when you drop out of classes
Hmm.
and you don't repay that back, your credit score drops. And mine was extremely low. That caused many issues in my life. I mean,
Of course it did.
that's, yeah, it's just not a good time. And
Hard,
so
hard life.
it took me a couple years of trial and error, major error on my part. Um, I needed to learn that lesson multiple times, apparently, but I got there. Um,
Yeah.
there, everyone has a different way of learning, and it takes so long to find that. But once you do, I mean, I can do anything. I can literally do anything. Um,
You feel on
at
top of
this
the world
point,
with that.
I feel so on top of the world. I was thinking, oh, I could even get a PhD. Why not?
So it sounds to me,
Maybe.
I'm not trying to wax spiritual on this, but it sounds like it's all
Hmm.
purposeful.
That's definitely it. I think that everything happens for a reason. I think that everyone on this earth is on a journey. I think that every being on this earth is on a journey of
I agree.
introspection and of,
Make mistakes.
yes, make mistakes. Please do. Make all the mistakes. Please have a lifetime of mistakes because guess what? Karma exists and you will get good karma in your next lifetime. And you will learn from your mistakes and your soul heals.
I think I don't want to get us off course, but I just have to throw
Yeah,
this in that a majority of my job as a therapist is to help people to see that what they felt like they were mistakes were not. They
sure.
put them on the right path. And every human I have met has their version of this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the other thing about making mistakes is having the strength to be accountable for your actions.
Woo!
Yep.
That's a mouthful.
Having the strength to be accountable for your actions
Mhm.
because oh my gosh, how many times just with you and I, both of our schedules are so busy and I'm so sorry last minute I can't make it. I'm so sorry last minute can't make it. There's nothing
Absolutely.
wrong with that. There's
No.
nothing wrong with that. And to be open and to be honest and to not have expectations of how other people will perceive you in these times.
Or if you
Um,
do, feeling through it or talking through it or what have you,
yes,
flexibility
exactly.
and
Hmm.
yeah, the rigidity will just lead to so much anger and frustration and bitterness.
Yes. Yeah. Flexibility. That's such a good word to be able to be mentally flexible and to be open-minded, to be willing to learn, to look at a situation and force yourself to step outside of the box and see what can I do here. With my own education, that's what I needed to do. Being a military kid, I am constantly craving change. I'm constantly wanting something more. I want to move houses. I want to rearrange my room. I need a change of environment. And
Sure.
for me in my education, I needed more than a change of environment. I needed a change of mindset and to
Occupation of variety or studies of variety. Does that fit
I'm
or
not
no?
sure I'm not sure what a by variety
Like,
would
well,
mean.
I'm trying to connect the moving as a former military kiddo, the moving around, I think that makes
Hmm.
sense. But with school, you had to figure out what fit for you at the time. Uh,
Yes.
like maybe your mind was seeking and searching, and it needs that inspiration, variety. I don't know if variety is the right word. Inspiration, can't get bored.
Yeah, yeah, I needed some stimulation, maybe. I
Yeah,
needed
that's
something
the word.
more. Yeah, I needed some mental stimulation. And yeah, you're right. At that young age, there was not a way that I could sit down and study and really read and comprehend the way that I can now, because I am strong enough to force myself to focus and
And your
read the
brain's fully
words.
developed
And
now.
yeah, that's
That's what makes me sad
a
as an
hundred percent.
advisor. Back in the day, a parent, no shade on them, they were doing the best they can. But you go in with your kiddo who's 18, 19, going, pick a major. What do you want to do for
Yeah,
the rest of your life? And the brain is still developing.
yeah,
So, not realizing that the first 2 years of school is about exploring the different topics,
right.
because
There's
that's why
so
many
much
people end
pressure.
up changing majors 50 times.
Exactly. Yeah. I've changed. I mean, every time I've gone to school, it's been under a different thing. Um, and now that my brain is fully developed and I am able to apply what I know
Hmm.
in real time instead of just guessing all the time of how things will be, it makes life so much easier to wait and to trust the process a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, and there's no need to be so hasty with it, with anything. And you can go to school at any age, any age. If you are in school and you think you can't afford it, you can. There are ways to learn. Harvard offers free classes online for the general public to get any certification, not any certification, there's specific courses on there.
There's
Um,
a lot of options,
but
though.
there are so many options. There is a 100% tuition free university online that is 100% online, 100% free. There are options for people. There are not opportunities for people to take these options.
You're preaching to the choir. That is my favorite in helping to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
I used to go into high school classrooms, and different meetings, and would the game was tell me why you think you can't go to college, and I will give you information to show that there's something that can be done
Mm.
if you choose. If you don't
Yeah, of
want to, if it's
course.
not your thing, that's okay
Oh my
too.
gosh. Yes. And there are so many jobs that, and not even jobs, but there's just so many industries and passions and anything you can do with your life that don't require college. You can do so much that don't require college if you don't want to. But if you do want to, so many doors open and you feel your brain getting stronger just by learning every day and taking in some bit of information and um, wanting to be curious.
You feel like that's the key is curiosity?
I think so. I think it's a part of it. I don't know if it's the full key. I think that um, I think to understand, we need curiosity, but um, we need to be able to comprehend what we see, what we find out. If we if you are a child and you see a man in a red suit and a white beard, you are going to think it's Santa. But when you're in middle school, you're going to be like, that's a guy dressed like Santa. And when
Mm.
you're in high school, you're going to think there's a man. Oh, I guess he is dressed like Santa. As you grow, there are less things you notice and more things you notice. And we should be curious, but with the intention of wanting to understand more, not just take things at face value.
So let's, if you will, let's go back to kind of where things are for you today and what's kind of gotten you here, if you're open to that.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Well, after a few years of kind of bouncing around, I've moved overseas a couple times. I've moved back to the States. Actually, never lived anywhere longer than 4 years. So,
Yeah.
this living here now, having some stability has helped me so much. And of course, I've found myself in a healthy relationship. I have my beautiful son, Andrew, who
Oh,
is my pride and joy. And I savor in that I get to teach him and put this desire to understand our universe onto him. Um,
so you've
so,
been here being
yep,
San
I've been
Angelo, you
here.
guys,
Yes.
for how long? Relationship, how long? How old's Andrew?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been here since 2021. I met Austin within a couple of months. My husband, Austin, we've been together also for the last almost 4 years in July.
That
And
seems to be
our
your key
son,
number.
I know, yep. Uh, and our son, Andrew, he is 20 months. He will be 2 in August.
Wow.
And he loves to sing the ABCs. He loves to sort blocks by color. He is surprises me every day with something new that his brain can do. It's incredible watching him
It
grow and
is
watching him perceive.
makes you very
And
mindful of time.
oh yes, yeah. And it also seems like time is simultaneously going as fast as a train and slow as a snail.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no really in between, except for moments like these, I guess. These are the moments where you get to talk and nourish and hear
connect.
and yeah, connect. These are the moments that we should be getting more often.
So if you were to look back at your younger self, or I'm sure it'd be easy to do this with your son, what would you, the auspicious question, what would your advice, your guidance be?
Mhm. Well, I actually have a list
Oh,
of
yay, look at
some
you all prepared.
things. I have a list of things called the college preparedness checklist that I wanted to go over.
Okay.
Um,
So we're going to focus
and
particularly on if you want to go to college or even if you're unsure, here's a
well,
checklist of what to think about and consider.
yeah. And maybe this doesn't have to apply only to college. I think that
Any
this
knowledge.
can, yeah, this can apply just to life. These are some things that you might need if you are let's see here. If you're feeling
Okay.
like you need to learn some more.
Okay.
So
And never
these
stop
will here we
learning.
go.
Never stop learning.
Never read.
Yes.
Read. So the first thing on our list is you will need a paper and a pen because pencils are for those afraid to admit their mistakes. Take accountability for your actions. Number two is a
Does anybody
planner.
use pen and paper
Oh,
anymore? I do, but I thought I was
me
the
every
last.
day, right
Okay.
here.
How about those who are technology driven? I guess they could do,
There's a notes app.
yeah, or
Just
iPad or something, yeah.
yeah. But I think the point of this is that you should be able to write something down, and if you want to erase it or backspace it, you need to cross it out
Yeah.
and let people see what your mistakes are.
Or let
Let people
yourself see
see
as well.
exactly. Reel it in. Feel it.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, Number two, we have a planner because you will forget plenty, but you should never stop trying to remember. At
Oh my
least try
goodness.
one
Yeah.
or two things. Number three, we have an alarm clock because getting up early gets easier when you do it every day. I think everyone goes through a time in their life that getting up at 7 o'clock every day is the hardest thing in the world, but it is worth it to do that every day.
Yeah, I remember,
And
and I know you definitely have to. I remember
sure, as a parent,
taking, because at the time there was no virtual and we couldn't get earlier than 8 o'clock classes. And I would
mhm,
do a couple of classes first thing in the morning and then go straight to work so I could get my hours in and stuff. And it was a rigorous schedule, but I'm grateful for it. I learned a lot.
sure, yeah, you do learn a lot with those rigorous schedules because when you have a job or when you are doing something in your life that allows you to sleep in every day and
Mm,
allows you to get like 12 hours of sleep every day, oh my gosh, would love 12 hours of sleep. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not, and if you can get 12 hours of sleep, oh my gosh, do not give it up.
yeah.
Keep it. But um, having those rigorous schedules and being forced because when you're late 3 days in a row because your alarm clock didn't wake you up, that's not okay. Like, you have to be responsible enough to wake up and get to be where you have to go. You have to.
Well,
You
and
will go back to sleep.
if you're in like a nursing program or something, if you're
Sure.
past the start time, they lock the door
Yeah.
and you're only allowed like one absence a semester or you
Yep.
to start over.
There and learning, and there is, it's so hard to tell a teenager not to sleep in because they need it so much. Let their brains melt. But that's also the perfect time to learn to build a routine, I think, to practice
Mm.
routine building. That's something that I did not prioritize at that time was how do I face every day? Like without like there was no routine in my life and being able to go to bed at the same time every night in your 20s,
Yeah.
you would be on to a really good start.
I think maybe one or two nights to get to actually hang out and
Maybe
socialize,
that's what the
maybe.
weekends are for.
Yeah, for sure. During the week, try to keep that routine. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, at least for a little bit and even like months at a time. Like give yourself a break every once in a while. There's
Sure.
where we can humans can mold, we can shape to where we need to be. So let yourself do that. Give your mind a break and let your body do the work for a little bit. So my next thing on my list is a music player, of course, because song heals the soul. There's you can't do anything without a good playlist while you're
Like
doing it. You have
you
to have
mean
music.
while in school or while
I
like
think during anything, I think that you should always have access to music.
definitely access. I couldn't play it while I was studying though. For me, it
Oh,
distracts me.
really? I
Mhm.
listen to classical music while I'm studying.
It kind of depends on how your brain works.
Yeah, of
So,
course. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah.
but
Try it
yes,
out. See what you like.
access
Or white
totally.
noise, anything. Yes, access to yeah, anything.
Good
Comfort.
point.
You must care for yourself before you care for others. You need to find time to be by yourself. You need to find time to meditate and to feel your energy and to ground yourself and to walk barefoot outside
Good
and
grounding technique.
to, yes, the earth is a magnet and it will ground you. You will feel better if you walk outside barefoot. Um,
Put that mask on
but
self first. I like that. I like
yeah.
that.
Next up is healthy food. Your body is a temple and you should treat it as such. I love junk food. I love it.
Especially
It's my
freshman year,
comfort
right?
food. Oh, yes. Yeah, the freshman 15, like it's real, man. But finding joy in like cooking healthy food and gardening and seeing what the earth can provide for us is so powerful and so I mean if you can learn to garden you're set. You
Yeah.
can make food. Like there's so much to learn. There is, and they're so easy. And now with technology nowadays, oh my gosh, have you heard of hydroponics?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's water, water in an air pump, baby. Like infinite tomatoes.
And
It's
if
insane.
I know that's not something I would really be drawn to at all, but I like the acquiring and the prepping. I like going to the farmer's
Yes.
market
Yes.
and
And being a
prepping,
part of that. Yeah. And just to
supporting
feel
that.
in your hands, like,
Mhm.
make food, collect ingredients and present and do it for yourself too. And cook for yourself and be able to like relish in the fact that you made a dish that you can really enjoy and nobody else
Yeah, it
can.
tastes better.
It does. It does. The next thing we have is going to be boundaries, and that is the ability to form your own and to respect others.
Yeah.
Because if you have to respect boundaries, you have to, and you
Well,
have to build
and
your own.
boundaries, not just for self, boundaries with others. I remember all the invitations to go out. And
Yeah,
if I was going to work, which was full time, and go to school full time, and the homework and everything else, I just couldn't go. I mean, I would pick a night a week, and that was my time.
yeah.
That's how I stayed focused
Hmm.
with school.
You have
I had to
to.
set those
Yeah,
boundaries no matter what.
exactly. Yeah, and relationship boundaries. If there's someone that you don't feel like is going to support your best self and wants you to be your best self, then they do not need you. You do not need to feed them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that has to be, and what I've learned in the last few years is that that person may be great. It
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It can be our energies. It's just not
Yep,
good for me.
yep, that's
And that doesn't
absolutely
make them
right.
bad, but I
It
still need a
doesn't.
distance.
And to be able to do that respectfully by
Absolutely.
and respecting their boundaries as well, there's
Right.
no need for any hostility when you don't like somebody. If you
Or I
feel
may
like
like
that's
them.
not for you,
They just
that's
may not
true.
help my trajectory toward
Yeah,
my goals.
true. Mm. Nothing wrong with stepping back. And there's nothing wrong with
Ooh,
coming back from a step back. Open
open to it.
communication and honesty are the two most important things with boundaries because if you cannot be honest, then you can't be honest with yourself.
Okay, so what number?
So, sorry, that was eight.
Oh,
Next we
eight.
have, yeah, then next we have a willingness to learn, of course, which kind of we've talked about this
Curiosity.
uh, thing, just kind of you have to take a step back and
Mhm.
you have to, might sound off, you have to take a step off the high horse and come down to earth and really just look at the roots.
Okay.
The last thing, and I think this is the most important thing that anybody can have, is resilience and
Mm.
able to let negative things slide off you. Don't let things affect you, and to be above negative energy. Don't let things bring you down. Don't let others bring you down because you can have a conversation with somebody that does not go your way. And if you let that affect your rest of your day, the butterfly effect is real and that could affect your entire future. Just one conversation and one decision can change so much. So let it slide off. Don't let anything affect you.
And for those of you who are not familiar, one, I encourage you to go pull it up on YouTube and watch a little bit about it. But the butterfly effect is, I'm not doing it justice, and please correct me, Emily, um, or feel free to add to it, is the idea that they've shown that the flap of a butterfly's wings has reverberations and effect on the other side of the world. The idea that my energy affects all of those, not even around me, and theirs affects me. So to be filtering about who's in your sphere and etc. Does that,
Sure.
you want to
Yeah,
add to that at
definitely.
all? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's definitely accurate. And yeah, the flap of the butterfly wing, of course. And
It's a powerful theory that's been
oh, it
proven.
is. Yeah. And I mean, when you look at the science of it, it's the winds, it creates a current in the winds, and it like our planet is so small. Something over here is bound to affect something over here.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on sleep, particularly during when you're trying to work and go to school, etc.?
Uh, get energy where you can, manufactured or real. I am a not proud of it, but I am a Red Bull
Okay.
addict. Yeah.
Well, and
I
trying to
think
get sleep
that
where you can.
I know, yeah, get sleep where you can. I mean, for me personally, I can't really take naps because I'll wake up and not remember what day it is and have a headache. And with the Andrew, it's just not safe for me to be taking naps. But I mean, go to
A
bed
set
early.
bedtime. Yeah.
Yeah, set
Routine, like you
bedtime.
said.
Yep, having a routine. And even like how I do in my life now is it's not even by time, it's just one action after the other. Like I don't need to have everything done by a certain time in the morning. I just need to do it one thing in succession, and it has to be the same order. But everybody's different. Everyone has
Yeah.
their own ways to build routines. And gosh, my routine also changes about 15 times a week. It's a little bit crazy. With a toddler, I mean.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you're very adaptable, which is going
Mm-hmm.
to keep childbearing years happier anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you that I'm very impressed with your devotion and your stick to itiveness, your tenacity,
Yeah.
getting
Thank
back at
you.
school while being
Yeah,
a
definitely.
mother of a young child and a relationship and working,
Yep. I do work not full time. I work part time, but I'm still working, trying to support our family, going to school full time.
which means you
I
are full. If you're time and a half, really.
Yeah, I'm more like double time and a half.
Double time with being a parent
Yeah.
and everything else. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you're
But
absolutely right.
yeah, it is possible to have it all. I will say, if this is what having it all is, you can do it. If I can do it, you can.
Well, and the having it all is how you feel. Do you feel like
Yeah,
you have it all?
absolutely.
Love that. That is having it all.
Hmm.
Um, any remaining remarks that you would like to leave? And certainly, if you want to leave any kind of identifying information that where people,
Yeah,
if they want to reach
sure.
out to you, can.
Sure. If I can just say one last thing, it would
Sure.
be to slow down and breathe and just take it in. You don't have to have opinions on anything. Just observe and
Ooh,
be, and
yeah.
everyone's going to be okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
More observation. There's
Hmm.
never nothing going on.
That's exactly right. There's always
Talk
something
about
more
a
to
double
learn.
negative. There's
Uh
never
huh.
nothing going on.
Never
It is so
nothing.
true, though. There's
Hmm.
so much. There's so
Yeah.
much. Um,
On a molecular level, and I mean you can look out, and I mean this might be going a little too deep into it, but isn't it weird how the planets look like cells and we're all
absolutely.
orbiting? I mean, I don't know, just something to think about.
There's a lot there that we can't even
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, and even if we couldn't comprehend it. And
Correct.
I think that too is a part of like why it's important for I, I guess everybody, society, everybody has to contribute by learning, because this our cultural mindset will change, and each generation gains more knowledge about our purpose on this world, and to dive into that and to want to know more, you are just fast tracking it for the next generation. If everybody has this mindset of wanting to contribute, then we can do so much for our future.
I like it. How can we get a hold of you?
You can email me at emmc2398 at gmail.com. I will make sure
Okay.
Miss Tammy leaves that in the description below.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Emily, I sure thank you for blessing our audience. You guys,
Yeah,
please
thank
like,
you for allowing me to come on here and speak my truth and with really no restrictions. Sorry if I went off a little, I think we kind of went down a couple of rabbit holes there.
I think that's exactly what this is supposed to be. It's the connecting because knowledge is knowledge, right? Who
Yep.
knows who needed to hear some of those
Yep.
rabbit holes?
Yes.
So
Anyone wants to reach out and talk more about it or ask any questions, or if you would want to share your story, I would love to hear
I love that. Thank you for your openness, Emily, and blessings to you. And thank you, everybody out there. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, blah, 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 all the stuff.
it.
And love to hear from you. Blessings to you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.